Hey everyone, just a quick little PSA before we start the video. You're going to see in the description I have a GoFundMe linked. The point of that is so that me and my family can get the deposit we need for a house. I have another full video explaining this. You can find the link to that in the description and in the GoFundMe, either one. And if you can spare $1 or $2 to help me out with this, it'd be greatly appreciated. Thank you much, and let's get on to today's video. Hey everyone, and welcome back. So I've responded to Gwen before when he claimed that Kevin Hart was a wrongin' and a bigot for daring to make jokes about gay people. And surprise, surprise, that wasn't the only bullshit opinion he held. This time around, you know what, let's just watch and you'll see what I'm talking about.
In other news, the Democratic election is getting underway.
And what a glorious shit show it's been so far. A bunch of idiots trying to out Orange Man bat each other, and then Tulsi.
And,
Please don't do this shit the whole video, dude. The last response I did to you was 17 minutes long, and at least 3 of those was waiting on you to talk.
I'm gonna hold off on talking about this much more until we actually, get some election results and things start really happening, because again, we're not gonna know for months yet what the situation actually is.
Well, we can kind of predict that it's going to be the DNC rigging the election to put Pocahontas against Trump, and she's going to lose that because she's done literally nothing her whole career but lie, whereas Trump has actually fulfilled some of his campaign promises.
However, things are looking very interesting, and I wanted to comment here briefly on how that Democratic primary in America is going right now.
Shit show. Basically the only word you need.
Because it's a laughingstock, to be honest.
Wow, we actually agree on something. Probably for different reasons, but still.
There have been too many candidates, and, you couldn't possibly get enough funny actors to get them all represented in an SNL sketch.
Well, of course not, considering you wouldn't watch any comedian that's dared make a joke about gay or trans people, which basically leaves you with Hannah Gatsby, who's more of a crybaby than a comedian.
They don't even fit all on one stage.
Hey, just get a bigger stage.
They might, as of right now, if it's a very big stage.
I said it first, therefore it's my idea, and if the DNC uses it, they owe me $1,000.
A few of them have dropped out. Beto O'Rourke dropped out recently, which, good.
Holy shit, 2 things we agree on.
I don't want to randomly lash out at candidates here. I have a point to make.
Oh good, you finally remembered there was a reason for making this video.
And my point to make is Medicare for all, i.e. single-payer healthcare, is a real fucking need.
Impressive. Every word in that sentence was wrong.
It literally is not a need. What is a need is getting the government to pull their fucking noses out of the healthcare system so that the free market can correct the issues that we have in it. And I know the free market won't make it a perfect system, but it will still be the best system considering government interference is what caused most of the issues in the first place.
And I'm going to demonstrate this to you in just a second, okay?
Well, it better be something that justifies me putting one of the most important aspects of my life into the hands of the government, and I doubt you're going to be able to justify that.
Some people need healthcare, right?
Well, technically nobody needs healthcare. You can't just sit at home and wait to die.
Some people, let's say of certain races perhaps, need to not get shot by the fucking cops.
Okay, for one, every race gets shot by the cops, and for 2, if you don't want to get shot, then don't threaten a police officer.
Some people, maybe of certain genders or sexual orientations, need to have their civil liberties respected.
Does that include recognizing the civil liberties of religious businesses that don't want to provide services to events they don't agree with? Works both ways, my dude.
And need to be allowed into the bathroom so that they can, do their fucking business.
You're not forbidden from the bathrooms, you whingy twat. If anything, people just don't want you in there because your face scares small children.
And what bothers me is that there are people in this Democratic Party, among the electorate especially, who will try to convince you that one of those things isn't a real need.
Well, because it's not, and you haven't demonstrated why it is.
Especially if they're like a white guy or a white woman.
What the fuck does skin color have to do with anything?
They'll try to act, especially straight people. Oh my god.
Goddamn straight people and their opinions.
I don't mean to, again, not lashing out, just saying.
Bullshit, dude. You're bringing up sexual orientation and race in a conversation where both are irrelevant.
They think, oh yeah, it's a real need. I support all civil liberties and everything like that. But I'm going to support a candidate that doesn't support single-payer healthcare. Sorry.
Hold on. How the fuck is not supporting single-payer healthcare going against your civil liberties?
As if that's not any less fucking disrespectful to me, as if you were supporting, like, an anti-trans candidate.
Hang on another second. Did you just say that it's transphobic to be against single-payer healthcare? How did you make a transphobia issue out of this?
Honestly, because as a trans person who needs fucking healthcare...
The fact that you're trans has literally fuck all to do with why you need healthcare. Everyone needs healthcare. You are not special. Well, you are, just not in the way you think.
I cannot, like, for the life of me, imagine where I'm gonna be, at this time next year as far as healthcare goes. Because guess what? I'm 25. I'm going to turn 26. That means, according to the Affordable Care Act, I will age off of my parents' insurance.
Mooching off of parents? Check.
Which means I will be totally uninsured.
Which means that you have a year to figure out how to get a good job and pay for your own insurance like every other adult in this country, you entitled little shitweasel. For fuck's sake, you are not entitled to free health insurance or free health care, especially since your capacity to be useful to the planet doesn't span beyond existing and complaining.
And that will put me with the majority of my peers.
So your peers are also entitled little shits that can't be useful to society. Check.
So... I honestly find it incredibly disrespectful and fucking awful that there are people who want to talk to me about, like, oh yeah, I support your civil liberties and everything. I just don't support your right to get health care.
Being against single-payer healthcare doesn't mean you don't support people's right to get healthcare, dickhead. It means you don't believe in having it paid for by the government, and there's plenty of logical reasons as to why people don't support that. I, for one, don't trust the government to run that system properly, especially considering they're taking my grandma's Social Security money away to pay for impeaching the president, for no other reason than Orange Man bad. So if you want me to support single-payer healthcare, you better figure out an argument as to why I should trust the government with it first, and if your only argument is healthcare is a right, then you better support the government giving everybody free guns because guns are actually a constitutional right.
Well, you don't really support trans people if you don't support our right to get health care because we fucking need it.
I support your right to get health care. I just don't support you stealing money from everyone in the country to pay for it because you're too lazy to get a good job and pay for it yourself. And stop waving the fact that you're trans around like that makes it more disrespectful because it literally means nothing to me, nor does it change why I don't support single payer. Stop acting like everything that's an inconvenience to you is some kind of transphobia because you are literally the reason that support for LGBT rights is going down.
So this is just a little rant about how hypocritical I think certain maybe liberal-minded people are who are otherwise very good people, but who in some of these cases are some of the most insensitive people because they don't care about our needs.
Aside from the fact that what you think is a need literally is not a need, I think you're even more of a dumbass for thinking any of those fuck-ups on stage give a shit about you or any of your needs. Every person on that stage does nothing but pander to the far left to get votes for no other reason than Orange Man bad, with the exception of Tulsi, who seems like a genuine candidate despite the disagreements I have with her policies.
Like, literally, they will look the other way as soon as it's politically convenient for them because they want to support a Harris or a Buttigieg or, God forbid, a Biden.
You heard it here, folks. Support the candidate that Gwen wants you to support, otherwise you're transphobic.
However, people go for, like, fucking Kamala Harris, who is, like, a clown in the trans community. Literally, like, maybe tied with Pete Buttigieg for how awful they are.
Are you even allowed to say that about a brown woman and a gay man? I thought that was against the SJW rulebook, but then again, that rulebook is nothing but rules for thee, but not for me.
But, just absolutely running the most uninspired and least helpful presidential campaign, the most means-tested bullshit being offered to people who, again, need fucking healthcare.
Well, then here's a solution, trans quagmire. Get a job and buy private insurance. Nothing in life is free, and the fact that you want to have your dick sawed off does not give you the right to free healthcare. And I thought you were going to demonstrate why this was a need, but you haven't given a reason aside from the fact that you're trans and a mooch.
So, without any other beating around the motherfucking bush, I just want to upload this. I want to make it totally clear to everybody who's watching that I support single-payer healthcare.
Yeah, I think we got that.
You know, if you're a Bernie supporter, God bless you.
Interesting fact about Bernie, he comes from the state of Vermont, the state that had to reject single-payer healthcare because they couldn't afford it for only 626,000 people. Therefore, I would like to know how Gwen here thinks we're going to pay for it for 320 million people, especially considering Liz Warren's plan is going to cost $56 trillion, and the average tax revenue for 1 year in the United States is only $3 trillion.
If you're a Warren supporter, I think, according to what she's come out with somewhat recently, I think she's much more in that, in that sort of realm as well, I guess.
Only because she's trying to pander to you idiots. I can at least respect Bernie because he genuinely believes single payer is a good idea, and he has never strayed from that path. Pocahontas only started running on it because she wants the votes.
So I'm not coming for you guys here. If you want to support those candidates, you can go ahead.
Oh, you hear that, guys? Gwen gave y'all permission to support Bernie or Pocahontas, but if you support anyone else, you're a transphobe who wants all trans people to die from a lack of anyone paying their healthcare bills for them. Anyway, he goes on to say that other candidates are awful people, and he's right, but for all the wrong reasons. He thinks they're awful people because they dare come to the conclusion that single-payer healthcare is a bad idea, and that's transphobic for some reason. I think the real reason this entitled nutjob wants single-payer is because of how expensive gender reassignment surgery is, and I'm sorry, but you don't deserve that for free either. Even if we did pass single-payer, you can't guarantee transitional surgery will be covered because it's classified as a cosmetic surgery. It's not a life-or-death operation. And lastly, not supporting single-payer doesn't mean I don't support your right to get healthcare. You still have that right, but you have to pay for it like every other need in life. And aside from the fact that I don't trust the government enough to allow them to run a healthcare system, it's much more efficient to allow the free market to drive those costs down, and it allows me to choose who I get my healthcare from. Obamacare proved that the government can't even keep the simple promise to let us keep our own doctors, and you want me to give them more control over healthcare? No thank you, I'll take my free market and just pay for it myself like the responsible adult Gwen is not. Anyway, that is all for this video. If you liked what I had to say, smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button because as a straight white male, it will disrespect me if you don't. You can follow me on BitChute and Twitter at hey_dude77. There's a GoFundMe along with my Streamlabs link to help my family and I get a new house. And I will see y'all in the next video. Catch y'all later.